SportsCenter AM, a playoff push for these two teams, the Chargers of Los Angeles and the Texans of Houston. That's in the early game today. We got two NFL games today. You like how I did that? I did horns. Why? Sam Acho is with us here on SportsCenter AM, Saturday NFL for Sam. So Texans and Bolts here in the early game. Who do you trust more to make a playoff run?
Oh, hands down, it's the Houston Texans, and mainly it's because of their defense. The Texans offensively have been up, and they've been down. C.J. Stroud hasn't played his best. But that defense, led by Derek Stingley Jr., one of the best corners in the league, and Will Anderson, one of the best defensive players in the entire NFL, they have been dominant. This is the number one defense when it comes to points allowed, number one defense when it comes to yards. And when you need a critical play, even though they've been outgained on offense many times, Will Anderson, Danielle Hunter, Stingley, I mean, you name it, they have so many dominant players. So I think that's what wins championships. They might be outgained when it comes to yards, but they're not going to give them a lot of points. They're going to force a lot of turnovers.
10 wins for the Houston Texans, who right now are still looking to secure a playoff spot. Meanwhile, the Chargers, 11 wins. They're going. They have a ticket booked. Meanwhile, the Ravens take on the Packers, and they need a way to keep their playoff hopes alive, Sacho. Where do you think things went sideways for Baltimore this year?
Critical injuries to key players in this specific offense. Look at Isaiah Likely, who's at second tight end. They run a lot of 12 personnel, 2 tight ends. He was injured the first 3 games, in which the Ravens lost 2 of their first 3. Also, Patrick Ricard, their 6'3", 300-pound fullback. He's such a weapon in this running style of offense. He missed the first 6 games. So, you think about it. They started off 1-5, and so key cogs of this offense were injured. Oh, by the way, the guy you see on your screen, Derrick Henry, he's had 4 fumbles. 3 of them have been lost, and they've lost all 3 of those games, which is off the fumble. So key injuries and also mistakes at the wrong times. Lamar's been hurt as well.
Speaking of injuries from the Packers side of things, Micah Parsons, no one man can replace what he does on the defensive line. But if you're a part of that defense, Sacho, how do you, what are the conversations like in the room, in the locker room? How do you try to fill that void here as you make a push for the second season?
When we think about guys like Rashawn Gary was there before Micah Parsons was there. And I understand that Micah Parsons is going to attract a lot of attention, but it can't just be one guy. Everyone else has to step their game up on the inside and the outside. Lamar Jackson may or may not play. And so if you're going against a backup quarterback, all of a sudden you have to understand that maybe it's going to be a bigger dose of Derrick Henry. So the Packers have to be better in stopping the run. So it's got to be Rashawn Gary, some of the interior players, and then understand that mindset might change without the star quarterback on the other side.
Packers going to the playoffs if the Ravens lose to go to hang out with the boys. Instead, a little snow scared them off this morning in Connecticut. J-Bone, good morning. Lamar Jackson doubtful for their must-win game literally against the Packers today. What more can you tell us about the Ravens quarterback situation?
G, I'm with you in spirit. Tyler Huntley prepared to start for the Ravens, and it is looking like he will. Lamar Jackson doubtful. There wasn't really a lot of suspense in the building this week among people I talked to with the Ravens. They said he took that shot last week, knee to the back. It's just been a painful situation. They were hoping maybe he could practice Thursday. Once he didn't, it became clear that he probably wasn't going to play in a must-win game that the Ravens absolutely have to keep their playoff hopes alive. So unless anything changes in the next 12 hours or so, it will be the battle of the backups. Green Bay going with Malik Willis, and of course Lamar Jackson will be on the bench as Tyler Huntley starts for the Ravens.
Green Bay in the playoffs, but you mentioned it. If the Ravens lose today, they are eliminated from playoff contention. Lamar not the only big name with injury concerns this week. Let's go through some other notable players. Let's start with TJ Watt.
TJ Watt ruled out for the Steelers, but the good news is he did practice. He is supposed to make a full recovery from the lung puncture he suffered from a little dry needling incident a few weeks back. So things seem to be trending in the right direction. It's still uncertain when he will take the field for the Steelers, but he's hoping to get back, especially if they make a playoff push. They'll be ready to go, hopefully, with Watt in the fold. All systems were go this week in practice where he was limited, and there were no setbacks. That's the good news. Now you got Chicago. Good news, bad news. Roma Dunze is the bad news. He is out for the 3rd straight week, dealing with a bit of a stress fracture in his foot. It's really just a rest issue. The team weighed options. They didn't put him on injured reserve. They're hoping that more rest can help him potentially be back in the playoffs, so they will monitor him week to week. But Luther Burden back. He missed last week with an ankle, but he practiced in full on Friday, so he will be one of the top targets for Caleb Williams moving forward. And then you got the 49ers, George Kittle, dealing with an ankle sprain. I'm told it's not a high ankle sprain. It's more of a low to mid issue. So that's the good news. It shouldn't keep him out for the long term. But this week, he did not practice at all. They are leaving the light on for him. He'll be questionable. They are hopeful that he can make it sort of a game time decision. They'll determine how he feels today.
Jeremy Fowler with the latest on SportsCenter. Jeremy, if you need help digging your way out of the driveway, Randy Scott brought his 2 snowblowers to work today. Randy, if you wouldn't mind, they are eliminated from playoff contention. Sam Acho joining us this morning. That's an awesome moment.
No, you got me.
Great to have AJ with us now. Yeah. What was that like for you?
That was surreal, just seeing little bro. I was talking to him the day before, and seeing him surprised me that day was crazy. So that's a big deal. Him giving me that award, it was just super personal for me, and I'm super grateful for it.
You had no idea he was about to sneak up on you, huh?
No idea.
Man, that was a cool moment. I'm glad we were able to capture that. So you've had a pick 6 to secure a national championship. Feels like forever ago when you were with Clemson, your first-round NFL draft pick. How do you compare what you've accomplished on the field to winning your team's Walter Payton Man of the Year honor?
Man, it's just a lot of hard work on and off the field, just day by day, just trying to find ways to get better, whether that be on the field and off the field, just winning this award, highlights everything that I do and stand for off the field. And it's just super important for me, so I just want to keep going, keep elevating. Never did it for an award. Just everything I do is just genuine from the heart, and just trying to build my legacy.
Well, the signature part of that, we'll put some shine on the program, is the foundation. It's the A.J. Terrell Jr. Academy that's already supported more than 600 student athletes across 2 high schools since its inception in 2023. 90% of participants able to maintain academic eligibility. Why is it so important to you to really help keep youth in sports?
No, that's what it's about. So I started my academy 2 years ago, but just giving, the kids an opportunity to experience more than just, just whatever sport they're pursuing in high school, just giving them more assets and help, just in high school at a high level where they have academic learning coaches that help them academically, financially, with family stability, any type of emergency help. That's what my academy do. So we just want to be able to be a helping hand for those kids and be able to just make sure they reach their full potential, going into adulthood when they go to college.
AJ, we saw you in some of those pictures and some of those videos lining up against some of those participants. You take it easy on them, or do you put those NFL clamps on some of those receivers and some of those DBs and say, hey, this is what it's going to be like when you get to D1 and when you get to the league maybe one day? How much fun do you have working with the kids and interacting with them on a daily basis?
It's always going to be 1 or 2 kids that try you at these camps.
always. Like, you're
always going to be 1 or 2 of them. But overall, man, I just try to, just be a helping hand for them and, be present. That's the main thing for me, just being present, letting them see, and let them be able to see that they can chase their dreams, and me just being a part of it is something that I love doing.
When you hear that the average child gives up sports by age 11, only spends about 3 years on average in sports, when you hear that stat, what goes through your mind?
Personally, right now, I'm thinking just the support. Sports isn't easy. It takes a lot of support from whoever's, helping you in that field. Some of the kids don't have a lot of help pursuing it. They don't know, what it takes to stay down, continue to work, and know that it's a process. You gotta trust the process, and that's kind of how I look at it. And I think that with the support, like with my academy, just giving them a lot of confidence going in to sports, and on and off the field, how you handle yourself at home with your parents or whoever your guardian may be. Those are super important things that just help you become a better person.
Talk about support, Father. A massive support system through your athletic journey. What are some of the things he taught you, maybe directly or indirectly,